The Lazy Peon.
What's up guys, and welcome back to another World of Warcraft video. Today we're going to be counting my pick for the top 100 shoulder transmogs in WoW. This list is totally and 100% subjective, so please refrain from raging in the comments if I didn't include a shoulder piece that you like. Odds are I've overlooked a few pieces because there's a lot of great looking shoulders in this game. Also, it's not easy only picking 100 as there's easily over 250 that I actually like. On a final note, this video won't include challenge mode shoulders as they're no longer obtainable. With that being said, let's get on with the video. First we're going to look at cloth shoulders. I'll mention the class specific set ones first and then some non-set pieces at the end. Mage tier 3 Frostfire shoulder pads, and these look absolutely stunning. They used to drop from Naxxramas in vanilla but are now only obtainable through the black market auction house. Mage tier 8.5 Kirin Tour shoulder pads, and despite me not being a fan of the set as a whole, I do like the shoulders. They drop from Yogg-Saron in Ulduar 25 man. Mage tier 11 Firelord'S Mantle. I really like both the normal and heroic version of these shoulders, which can be dropped by Alakir or bought for 86 gold from the Legacy Justice Quartermaster in your capital city. Mage tier 12 Firehawk Mantle. These are also really nice, and the normal mode version can be bought for just 94 gold from the Justice Quartermaster in your capital city. The heroic version is dropped by Major Dormu Staghelm in the Firelands. Mage PvP Season 8 WRATHFUL GLADIATOR'S Silk AMICE. These can be bought for 1040 honour points from a Legacy PvP Armour Quartermaster. Mage PvP Season 14 GRIEVOUS Gladiator's Silk AMICE. I actually wear these a lot on my mage. They can be bought for 1750 honour points from the PvP vendor on the Serpent's Spine in Pandaria. Priest tier 5 Mantle of the Avatar. I love these shoulders because they suit a priest so perfectly. They drop from Voidreaver in the Tempest Keep. Priest tier 6 Mantle of Absolution. These can be dropped by Mother Shiraz in the Black Temple. Priest tier 8.5 Shoulder Pads of Sanctification. I really like Priest tier 8 as a whole, and the shoulders here do a lot to make the set stand out for me. They're dropped by Yogg-Saron in Ulduar 25. Priest tier 13 Mantle of the Dying Light Normal Mode. Another shoulder piece that's well suited to a priest from an RP perspective. They're dropped from Hagara the Stormbinder in Dragon Soul. Priest PvP Season 10 Ruthless Gladiator's Mooncloth Mantle. These can be purchased for 825 honour points from your Legacy PvP Quartermaster. Priest PvP Season 11 Cataclysmic Gladiator's Satin Mantle, and these can also be purchased for 825 honour points from the Legacy PvP Quartermaster. Warlock tier 4 VOIDHEART Mantle. This drops from High King Mulgar in Gruul's Lair. Warlock tier 5 Mantle of the Corruptor. This is one of my favourite Warlock sets, and the shoulders contribute a lot to that. They drop from Voidreaver in the Tempest Keep. Warlock tier 7.5 Plagueheart shoulder pads. These are basically a recolor of the Warlock tier 3 shoulders, but I prefer these for its colour combinations. They're dropped by Gluff in Naxxramas 25. Warlock tier 8 Deathbringer shoulder pads. These drop from Thorim in Ulduar on 10 player mode. Warlock tier 17 Shadow Council's Mantle. These are my favourite Warlock shoulders by far, and they look like the ones that Gul'dan wears. If I enjoyed playing my Warlock more, I'd join a Mythic guild just to get these shoulders. They drop from Operator Thogar in the Blackrock Foundry on Mythic mode. Warlock PvP Season 8 WRATHFUL Gladiator's Fellweave AMICE. These can be bought for 1040 honour points from your Legacy PvP Armour vendor. Warlock Season 14 Grievous Gladiator's Fellweave AMICE. These can be bought for 1750 honour points from the PvP vendor on the Serpent's Spine in Pandaria. AMICE of the Convoker. This is dropped from the Eredar twins in the Sunwell Plateau. Shadowmoon Shoulder Guards. This can be purchased for 50 Iron Horde scraps and 1 crusted Iron Horde pauldron if you have a Dwarven Bunker or War Mill in your garrison. Mantle of the Wavering Calm. This drops from XT in Ulduar and was my favourite shoulder piece back in Wrath when I had them on my Undead Mage. Pauldrons of Catastrophic Emanation. This can be purchased for 164 gold from one of the Legacy Justice Quartermasters in Dalaran. Shoulders of Ruinous Senility. This drops from Professor Putricide in the Icecrown Citadel with a 0.9% drop rate. Earth Ripple shoulder pads. This drops from Cromog in Blackrock Foundry with a 13% drop rate. Now we're going to look at some leather shoulder pieces. Druid tier 7.5 Dreamwalker shoulder pads. This drops from Gluff in Naxxramas 25 or can be purchased for 145 gold from one of the Legacy Armour vendors in Dalaran. Druid tier 8 Nightsong shoulder pads. These are dropped by Thorim in Ulduar 10 player mode. Druid tier 11 STORMRIDE'S Spolders. I use these for my Druid's transmog. I love both the normal and heroic mode version of this. The whole normal mode set, including the shoulders, can be bought for gold from the Legacy Armour vendors in your capital city. Druid Tier 14 Eternal Blossom Shoulder Wraps. I like the normal mode version of these shoulders best, and they can be dropped by Lei Shi in the Terrace of the Endless Spring. Druid Tier 17 Heroic Living Wood Spoulders. As a whole, I don't really like the Druid Tier 17 sets, but I like the Heroic Shoulders. It's the only part of the set that really suits a Druid. They're dropped by Operator Thogar in the Blackrock Foundry on Heroic. Druid PvP Season 10 Gladiator's Wormhide Spoulders. These can be bought for 825 honour points from the Legacy PvP Armour vendor. Druid Season 14 Grievous Gladiator's Wormhide Spoulders. This is another set that I like to armour Druid. The shoulders are awesome on this one. It can be bought for 1750 honour points from the PvP vendor on the Serpent Spine in Pandaria. Rogue Tier 2 Bloodfang Spoulders. I like these because they feel very roguish. They're dropped by Chromagus in Blackwing Lair. Rogue Tier 5 Death Mantle Shoulderpads. These drop from Void Reaver in the Tempest Keep. Rogue Tier 6 Slayer's Shoulderpads. I like to use these for transmog on my rogue. The shoulders actually go really well with the Bloodfang set. They're dropped by Mother Shiraz in the Black Temple. Rogue Tier 10 Shadowblade Pauldrons. These can be bought for 162 gold in Dalaran from one of the Legacy Armour Quartermasters. Rogue Tier 17 Mythic Poisoner's Spoulders. Blizzard have designed some amazing mythic shoulders so far in WoD, and these are no exception. They drop from Operator Thogar and Blackrock Foundry on mythic difficulty. Rogue PvP Season 7 Relentless Gladiator's Leather Spoulders. These can be bought for 171 gold from the Legacy PvP Armour vendors in Dalaran. Rogue PvP Season 10 Ruthless Gladiator's Leather Spoulders. I like these because they're not totally symmetrical but still maintain a sturdy rogue-like appearance. They can be bought for 825 honour points from the Legacy PvP Armour vendor. Rogue Season 14 Grievous Gladiator's Leather Spoulders. These can be bought for 1750 honour points from the PvP vendor on the Serpent Spine in Pandaria. Rogue PvP Season 16 Primal Gladiator's Leather Spoulders. I personally like the Horde version better for the colour scheme, but regardless, they have great models and look very sharp, deadly and roguelike. They can currently be bought for 1750 Conquest points from the Conquest vendor, but will be available for the equivalent amount of honour points next season. Monk Tier 17 Mythic Mantle of the Somber Gaze. These are dropped by Operator Thogar in the Blackrock Foundry on mythic difficulty. Monk PvP Season 14 Grievous Gladiator's Ironskin Spoulders. These can be purchased for 1750 honour points from the PvP vendor on the Serpent Spine in Pandaria. Flamebender's Shoulder Guards. These drop from Flamebender Kagraz in the Blackrock Foundry on normal mode and higher difficulties. Underdweller's Spoulders. These drop from Morchok in Dragon Soul. Shoulderpads of Frost-Tipped Fawns. This drops from Prince Taldaram in the Icecrown Citadel with a 9% drop rate. Shoulderpads of the Assassin. This drops from Talon King Ikis in Sethek Halls with an 18% drop rate. Flickering Shoulderpads. This drops from Shanox in the Firelands with an 8% drop rate. LUNAR-CLAW Pauldrons. This drops from Meccano Lord Capacitus inside the Mekkanar dungeon with an 18% drop rate. Tusked Shoulderpads. These troll-styled shoulders drop from Dakara in Zulaman with a 23% drop rate. Now we're going to look at some male shoulders, and I have to say, the Hunters and Shamans have some really nice choices with their tier shoulders. Hunter Tier 4 Demon Stalker Shoulder Guards. These are pretty damn awesome, and there's a PvP recolor version of these if you're not a fan of this one. They drop from High King Mulgar and Gruul's Lair. Hunter Tier 5 Riftstalker Mantle. These drop from Void Reaver in Tempest Keep with a 61% drop chance. Hunter Tier 8 Scourge Stalker Spoulders. I really like both the 10 and 25 man version of the Hunter Tier 8 shoulders. They really make the set look badass. It drops from Forum in Ulduar on 10 player mode. Alliance Tier 9 Windrunner Spoulders of Conquest. These can be bought for 160 gold from the Leather Armour vendor in Dalaran. Hunter Tier 10 Ankahar Bloodhunter's Spoulders. These can be bought for 162 gold from the Leather vendor in Dalaran. Hunter Tier 12 Flamewaker'S Spoulders. These can be bought for just 94 gold in one of the Legacy Justice Quartermasters in your capital city. Hunter Tier 13 Wormstalker'S Spoulders. These are dropped from Hagara the Stormbider in Dragon Soul. Hunter Tier 17 RYLAKSTALKER'S Spoulders. This is dropped from Operator Thogar on normal and heroic mode in Blackrock Foundry. Hunter Tier 17 Mythic RYLAKSTALKER'S Spoulders. This is the mythic version of the Tier 17 and looks awesome. Again, it drops from Operator Thogar in Blackrock Foundry on mythic mode. Hunter Season 9 Vicious Gladiator's Chain Spoulders. These can be bought for 825 honour points from a Legacy PvP armour vendor. Hunter Season 14 Grievous Gladiator's Chain Spoulders. I like to use these for transmog on my Hunter. They cost 1750 honour points from a PvP vendor on the Serpent Spine in Pandaria. Shaman Tier 1 Earth Fury Epaulets. Despite this set being old and not having a very high res texture compared to the newer sets, I still like the shoulders as they still look great and they suit a Shaman very well. They drop from Barongeddon in Molten Core. Shaman Tier 2 Epaulets of 10 Storms. This is another old shoulder piece that I also like for the same reasons as its Tier 1 counterpart. It drops from Chromagus in the Blackwing Lair. Shaman Tier 3 Earthshatter Spoulders. These shoulders look amazing. Unfortunately, the only way you can get them is via the black market auction house. If you're looking for a similar alternative, the Tier 7 and 7.5 versions could give you that. Shaman Tier 5 Cataclysmic Shoulder Pads. Compared to a lot of shoulders on this list, they aren't quite as big and bulky, but I still really like them. They drop from Void Reaver in Tempest Keep. Shaman Tier 8 Worldbreaker Shoulder Pads. These are just awesome in their size and design. They drop from Forum in Ulduar on 10 player mode. Shaman Tier 11 Shoulder Wraps of the Raging Elements. These can be bought for 86 gold from the Legacy Armor vendor in your capital city. Shaman Tier 13 Spirit Walker's Shoulder Wraps. I like the two huge skulls on these shoulders. It drops from Hagara the Stormbinder in Dragon Soul. Shaman Tier 14 FIREBIRD'S Shoulder Wraps. This drops from Lei Shi in the Terrace of the Endless Spring. Shaman Tier 17 Heroic Windspeaker's Mantle. I actually like the Tier 17 shoulders better than the mythic ones just for the model and colour combination. It feels very Shaman. They drop from Operator Fogar on Heroic mode in the Blackrock Foundry. Shaman PvP Season 3 Vengeful Gladiator's Male Spoulders. I think these shoulders really complete the set and make it look awesome. They cost 750 honour points from the Legacy PvP armor vendor in Dalaran or Neverstorm. Shaman PvP Season 10 Ruthless Gladiator's Male Spoulders. These cost 825 honour points from the Legacy PvP vendor in your capital city. Shaman PvP Season 14 Gladiator's Male Spoulders. These can be bought for 1750 honour points from the PvP vendor on the Serpent Spine in Pandaria. Pauldrons of Nalarak. These drop from Nalarak and Zulliman with a 22% drop rate. Pauldrons of the Furious Elements. These can be bought from Gires in Chatarath City for 68 gold. Now we're going to look at some plate shoulders. Warrior PvE Tier 3 Dreadnought Pauldrons. And these belong to one of the best looking armor sets in the game. Again, like all Tier 3 from Old Naxxramas, only obtainable via the black market auction house if you're extremely lucky. Warrior PvE Tier 6 Onslaught Shoulders. These shoulders are both badass and really intimidating. They drop from Mother Shiraz in the Black Temple. Warrior PvE Tier 12 Shoulder Guards of the Molten Giant. These can be bought for only 94 gold from the Legacy Armor vendor in your capital city. Warrior Tier 13 Colossal Dragonplate Shoulder Guards. These awesome shoulders drop from Hagara the Stormbinder in Dragon Soul. Warrior Tier 17 Mythic Blackhands Shoulder Guards. These drop from Operator Fogar in the Blackrock Foundry on Mythic mode. Warrior PvP Season 7 Relentless Gladiator's Plate Shoulders. I use these shoulders for Transmog on my warrior. I like how brutal they look. You can buy them for 171 gold from the Legacy PvP vendor in Dalaran. Warrior PvP Season 8 Wrathful Gladiator's Plate Shoulders. I can never decide if I like these more than the Season 7 shoulders, but either way they look great. Go buy them for 1040 honour points from the Legacy PvP vendor in your capital city. Warrior PvP Season 12 Dreadful Gladiator's Plate Shoulders. I like these because they have a real ornamental gladiator's look about them. You can buy them for 1750 honour points from a PvP vendor on the Serpent Spine in Pandaria. Warrior PvP Season 16 Primal Gladiator's Plate Shoulders. Just look at those spikes. If that's not intimidating, I don't know what is. They can currently be bought for 1750 conquest points but will be available for the equal amount of honour points next season. Death Knight Tier 10 Scourgelord Pauldrons. The normal mode version of these shoulders can be bought for 162 gold from the plate vendor in Dalaran. Death Knight Tier 17 Mythic Ogre Skull Boneplate Pauldrons. These drop from Operator Fogar in the Blackrock Foundry on Mythic mode. Death Knight PvP Season 10 Ruthless Gladiator's Dreadplate Shoulders. I'll always have a place in my heart for these as they were the first PvP shoulders I ever bought with conquest points. Back then I was awful at PvP and got carried so many times in arena to save up for them. They still look great to this day. You can buy them for 825 honour points in your capital city. Death Knight PvP Season 11 Cataclysmic Gladiator's Dreadplate Shoulders. These can also be bought for 825 honour points in your capital city. Death Knight PvP Season 14 Prideful Gladiator's Dreadplate Shoulders. These are the shoulders I currently use on my Death Knight. I really like the model and colour combination on these. You can buy them for 1750 honour points from the PvP vendor on the Serpent Spine in Pandaria. Paladin Tier 2 Judgment Spoulders. These drop from Chromagus in the Blackwing Lair and are part of one of my favourite tier sets in the game. Paladin Tier 6 Lightbringer Shoulder Guards, possibly the most popular Paladin shoulders in the game. Even I use them for my Paladin Transmog. They drop from Mother Shiraz in the Black Temple. Paladin Tier A Aegis Shoulder Guards, these drop from Forum in Ulduar on 10 player mode. Paladin Tier 16 Shoulder Guards of Winged Triumph, these are the only shoulders I actually like from Tier 16, they drop from Siegecrafter Black Fuse in the Siege of Orgrimmar. Paladin Tier 17 Normal Mode Pauldrons of Guiding Light. I absolutely love how these shoulders look, they really suit a Draenei Paladin perfectly. I like the normal mode version best, I think the white, gold and purple look amazing together. They drop from Operator Fogar and the Blackrock Foundry on normal mode. Paladin Season 11 Cataclysmic Gladiator's Ornamented Spoulders. These stunning shoulders can be bought for 825 honour points from the Legacy PvP vendor in your capital city. Burden of Mortality. These drop from Chimarom in Blackwing Descent with a 10% drop rate. Fanblade Pauldrons. These drop from Shirak the Dead Watcher in Arcanai Crypts with a 2.8% drop rate. Heroic Spoulders of Manifold Eyes. These awesome shoulders drop from Beftalak in the Firelands on Heroic with a 12% drop rate. Swift Steel Shoulders. These can be crafted with 375 blacksmithing and various ingredients. Temporal Pauldrons. These are dropped in the End Time dungeon with a 23% drop chance from Murazond. So that's it for this list, guys. I mainly make these types of videos to help newer players that don't know where to start with making a cool transmog, as I like to start with the shoulders. Before we end this video, I want to know what class you think has the best armor sets. I personally think the Shaman and Paladin sets are generally always spot on in their design, and they don't have many bad sets, but let me know what you think. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like as it always helps, and if you want to see more content from me in the future, then hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.